Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. On this episode I've got Only Reefs herself, Mariah is in town, and I'm going to take her on a local fish shop crawl covering 4 of Melbourne's best local fish shops. Alright, thank you for joining me on yet another episode of Parker's Reefs, and as touched on in the intro, good friend of mine, Mariah from Only Reefs Instagram stardom has flown into Victoria for her first time to check out the Melbourne local fish shop scene, and I was the first person to put my hand up and say, hey Mariah, let me chauffeur you and take you around some of the best stores that Melbourne has to offer, because I don't mind visiting a local fish shop myself, and I figured I may as well take the camera and put together this whirlwind trip where we visited all these awesome shops and share that content with you guys at home. So today we'll be going to Nature Pets and Aquariums, then over to see Jono at Aquamarine Aquaristic, down to see Jack at Williamstown Aquarium that I have not been to for a few months, and then of course finish things off at Deer Park Aquarium. So without any further ado, let's roll the footage of this awesome Melbourne local fish shop crawl. Alright, first stop in our 4-shop Melbourne local fish shop crawl is out to Nature Pets and Aquariums, and we've gone here because Steve has a huge shop that also has a massive online presence, and you can see here Mariah is very excited to be here. We were literally here 10 minutes before the doors opened so that we could get first look at everything, and one thing that they do very, very well here at Nature Pets is beautiful freshwater aquascaped tanks, and there is no shortage of examples in this front area when you walk in. All sorts of different styles that Steve did take me through. I've got to say, when it comes to freshwater aquascaping, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other, but he told me about natural scapes, about depth perception, about a Dutch style aquascape as well. All sorts of planted aquariums going on here, but I got to say, for a salty old dog like myself, I've got to admit these look very, very nice, and you can see some beautiful setups there, but I can see a little bit of a blue glow over there, and that's definitely the direction I'm headed. This one here, I will say, looks pretty cool. This is the one where Steve really said they focused on that depth and perception to make it look like the tank goes back a lot further than it really does, but enough of this zero salinity stuff. Let's get over here and check out these beautiful marine display tanks. And you can see here they've got the Red Sea Reefer, which they are currently changing from a soft coral display to set it up for cold water seahorse, which is an interesting choice. They are a little bit more of a, I was going to say locally available seahorse, but it's sort of down Tasmania way, I guess, but will be interesting to see nonetheless. And then they have this big Cade mixed reef system here, which is starting to really grow in quite nicely. You can see some big Monties in there, even a nice clam, which is nice to see. A great assortment of Euphilia in there, plenty of hammers and things going on. In fact, yeah, we'll zoom in a little bit closer here so we can have a look. A great assortment of hammers. You see some nice Recordias. There's that clam. Beautiful piece. I must admit, I'm getting a little bit of an itch to add a clam to my tank, but I think my angel might just eat it, which is going to be a super expensive meal at the moment. But a very nice Cade display tank nonetheless. We'll keep on rolling and see what else there is, because we got 4 stores to cover today. Here's a system that Steve said is completely overgrown. He's just come back from a trip overseas and has to break out his ADA trimmers and get that one back. This system, though, I say looks incredible. There's actually more of the scape, heaps more of the scape outside of the tank. The tank really just holds a little bit of water down the bottom, and it gives a huge presence in realistically what is a massive space. But we'll keep on rolling because Nature Pets and Aquariums is a big store, and these systems here actually used to be coral tanks, but as of recent times, there's been a little bit more of a push towards freshwater plants and stuff from the customers, so Nature Pets and Aquariums have adapted their business to meet their customers' needs, which is understandable, and they've converted these tanks into freshwater plant systems, and I got to say, they look fantastic. I really like the that sort of garden divider wall up the top there. Some space for the plants to grow in, and speaking of plants growing in, the team did just receive a delivery of plants, and that's why these plants are all just floating on the top there. They will make space for them. There is multiple tiers of tanks here for all the plants, and as you can see, there is no shortage of them. I really like these little succulent-looking ones. I think they were some sort of cactus or lettuce or something like that, but they looked pretty cool. And then this one here, as a saltwater guy, the color of that one grabbed my eye. But we've got to bring it back to the saltwater side of things because despite the fact they converted some coral tanks to plant tanks, there's still heaps of corals here at Nature Pets and some very nicely priced pieces. Starting up here at the higher end items, you got $120, $100, coming down through to $90 pieces there. Beautiful pectinia up the back there. $60 pieces down to $50. We still got some more $50. Now we're down to $40. You can see they're getting very cheap. These are all Australian dollars, I will say, by the way. On to $30 pieces. And look, some more $30 pieces here. And Steve was very proud to say that all of these frags here are multiple generations old of in-house fragging. So they're all very well accustomed to life in their aquariums there, and they're going to settle in very nicely into your tank as well. And there's more on this side. Obviously, some of these euphyllias and things like that are obviously wild collected pieces, but when you get to those frags, they're all in-house frag. That green gonia there is quite nice, very bright indeed. And here's some nice frags. We've got some SBS frags. We've got some Monties, quite like that solar flare Monty Dene there, very nice. You've got some wild collected SBS there. And you've got some more of the in-house frags. And check out the pricing, $20 a piece there. Super, super cheap. And some really nice Samacoras in there. A great variety of Samacoras, I will admit. All nicely lined up in their racks. So plenty of options there, despite the fact they've converted some of these tanks to freshwater. There's also a good assortment of fish here. You can see some lions there. Got some nice, was that a Labudi? Yeah, Labudi, not a lineatus. A nice wrasse there. All of these tanks have got some rock and some media in there as well, so the fish got some space to hide, and also some pipes and things like that as well, so all very well set up. And then heading over here, you can see some beautiful designer clownfish. I really tried to focus the camera in on these because I was quite impressed with the markings on them. Very, very nice. Quite like a little baby urchin in the tank next to it as well. There is a whole separate section for marine inverts, but on my way there, I did notice this big clear panel above ground pond full of comets that we could check out, but I did promise a invert section. You got some coral banded shrimp there, all sorts of nice urchins in here, from pencils to collectors, all sorts going on there. And then of course there's no shortage of freshwater fish. Mariah was catching up with Steve, the owner here at Nature Pets, just talking business as they do, because as I touched on earlier, Mariah does work at Seaview Aquariums in Adelaide, so she is in the industry as well as running Only Reefs, her Instagram page, and having a hugely successful home reef tank. But just before we wrap up at Nature Pets, I thought I'd pan through the huge range of dry goods these guys carry on hand. They obviously have a big online presence, but have a massive amount of stock on hand here. And I was really impressed with things that a lot of other shops will have to get in on order. Things like skimmers, reactors, chillers were all sitting on the shelf ready to go, which if you're a reefer like me, you can understand that sometimes when you've made the decision, you've done the research, you want one of these pieces, you want it straight away. But we've got to keep on rolling because our next stop is to visit Jono at Aquamarine Aquaristic. Let's go see Jono. It's not too far from Nature Pets. And see, Mariah is super excited to go here. She has recently got the SBS bug, and we'll have a look at that display tank on the left, but you see Mariah has made herself at home. She's got the ladder, she's got the top-down tube, and she's getting some content for that Instagram page, checking out the beautiful SBS display. Well, I say SBS, to be fair, it's actually more a mixed reef in this tank. There's a lot of SBS, it's pretty SBS dominant, but as you can imagine at Aquamarine Aquaristic, there's no shortage of goni, some massive goni. In fact, the ones up, you can see the colour shining through the ripple there, and Mariah is no stranger to high-end goniopora. In fact, she has purchased some very nice pieces from Jono at Aquamarine Aquaristic, especially from the recent Fragorama. So she was keen to see the mother colonies and see how they look. In here, you can see some gorgeous, there's Wilsoni, elegans, fungias, there's scolomias, all sorts in there. Up here, you can see some corals that customers have ordered, and they're going to come in and pick up. And then down here, you can see a great assortment of different candy canes. We've got some Lobos. We've got some maize, chalice, massive wild gonies there. Some chalice. Over here, we've got, looks like some Galaxia frags there. Heading on onto some zoas, a massive assortment of the small bubble coral frags. You've got Raja Rampage or Space Invader Chalice there, up into some more customer orders. And then we head on over to this section here in the middle, which has got some big gonies there, some blastos, there's some hammers, we've got some lobophilias, pachyceptors there. In the middle here, you've got some rhodactis in there. You've got a great assortment of soft corals in here as well. So this is something that has definitely caught my eye of late as I'm setting up that beautiful UN system soft coral tank. Seeing a great variety of soft corals always gets my eyes widening a little bit, and there is no shortage of nice variety of soft coral in here, and all very well priced, I've got to say. Obviously, the variety is the key of life when it comes to soft corals. They don't have the most diverse range of colors, but speaking of variety, this is something I've not seen for a long time, and this is a huge number of clams in here. Jono tells me that they had a clam collector customer who has shut down their tank, and they were able to take in all of these beautiful clams, and wow, there's some stunners in here. And I got to say that Aquamarine Aquaristic are about to run their end of financial year sale. In fact, by the time this video airs, that will be live, and it's going to be 35% off. So those prices you saw of the clams on screen, and don't worry, we will loop back to those clams, will be 35% off. Now, coming on to something that Aquamarine Aquaristic have been quite famous for of late is gonies, and have a look at the number of red glitter gonies they have. There's also infernos down on the base there. Crazy assortment of gonies, and so many frags. The guys do not stop their bandsaw here, constantly trimming the ears of all of their gonies, growing them out, and they've got it down to a fine art. Now, in the middle here is their SBS frags that got cleared out from Fragorama, so we're going to come on over here and check out these tanks here. We've got a great assortment of bubbles there, some big euphyllias, some nice big wild gonies there. You got frog spawns, hammers, all sorts going on. No shortage of coral at all. Head around the corner here, what can we find here? Some more gonies, you guessed it, it is an absolute coral of choice at Aquamarine Aquaristic, and when you see the variety of colours they have, it is honestly hard to believe they have that many types. Some nice chalice, you got this fungia here that is bounced, crazy cool, some chalice, elegant, some more bubbles, cynarias, but I have noticed a wicked little anemone tank up here, and there's some cool things in here. Check out that big, you got, well, forest fire bubble tips, you've got candy apples, you've got a big red carpet here which has been discounted, and that is pre 35% off price. And you come down here into this ridiculous LPS tank, you've got this crazy goniopora there. They've got very limited number of those. I forgot what the name of that was, might have been Ring of Fire, I think. Stunning thing. And then, of course, you have that Deshi in there as well. Now, up in this last tank here, they have a huge assortment of wild SBS, as well as some frags they've got going on. So, nice little pieces in here, a few frags cooking away there, some big stags there, as well as some wild. But then there is also a little tank up hidden in the back corner here that Jason, the staff there, was just trimming away nicely. You can see some high-end pieces. Have a look at that that gorgeous chalice in there. Some more of those really high-end gonies in there as well. So, never a shortage of crazy high-end stuff at Aquamarine Aquaristic. And again, you can see Mariah there talking shop with Jono, finding out all of the inside tricks, swapping supplier names, getting all of the info, and both making their shops as good as they possibly can. There is also this beautiful soft coral, not soft coral, anemone display tank up the front here with a couple of interesting sort of rock anemones in there. There's also a little red Hedonian here with a gorgeous porcelain crab. Absolutely love to see that. And some forest fire bubble tips in there as well. Big maroon, lightning maroon clown in there. There is this beautiful SBS display here, and Mariah is getting a little sneak peek again at some of the mother colonies of the signature AMA frags that she has purchased, and has also made a list of ones that she wants to purchase once getting back to Adelaide. She'll jump on aquamarineaquaristic.com.au, jump on their WYSIWYG section, and now she knows the names of the corals that she wants. She's seen them in person. It makes ordering online significantly easier. Now, before we wrap up at Aquamarine Aquaristic, I had to loop back to these clams because I was incredibly tempted to pick some of these up because, as you can see, the prices here are cheap, and yeah, 35% off those as well. Clams obviously look the best from the top, and Whilst these are mostly all blue, there's a few striped in there. There's a few stripes with, look at that one there with the light blue stripes through it. You got that big monster mother in there. She's had many years growing away. There's nice tiger stripes there. That little one there that's closed up a little bit with the blue splashes I absolutely love. The only reason why I didn't pull the trigger on these, look at that one there with that copper band through it. Oh, stunning. Was that I think my hybrid angel Prius will probably eat those in about 24 hours, which doesn't matter if they're 35% off. If they're eaten, they're not worth it. Wrapping things up here, Mariah just grabbing a last little minute, a bit of Instagram footage for Only Reefs, always on the creator grind there, which is cool to see. And we're going to make our way to our third stop for the day, which is Williamstown Aquarium, out to see Jack and the team there. Always an interesting stop. Jack's been in this game a long time, does his own fish importing as well, which always gives him a huge variety of fish. So we're going to pop in and see where things are at. You see Mariah in here already talking shop with Jack, which is good to see. And you can see always a huge range of dry goods here, and plenty of gorgeous corals. See the team checking out the Red Sea display tank. Mariah, big Red Sea advocate, so always comparing notes on there. And then we can have a look at the corals in here. Now, I will say that Jack really wanted me to mention that they are currently moving their coral tanks, and they have taken one of the big sumps offline, which had disrupted quite a bit of detritus and made the water a little bit cloudy like you see here now. But I will say the LPS absolutely loved it. We'll see some corals in a minute that were just full of life. I've never seen Blastos and Acans as fat as these were, because they were loving that sump disruption. But no shortage of stunning coral in here. Huge number of bubbles, gonies, hammers, torches. There were scollies down the base there, elegants, plenty going on. Heading around the side here, in fact, let's have a look at this Red Sea. Mariah's having a good time, as you would. Anyone has a good time doing a local fish shop crawl, but it's extra fun when you are interstate. Here is that Red Sea display tank, and it's looking pretty good. Nice mix in there. You've got some soft corals, SBS, LPS. Nice little range of fish in there, even a yellow tang, which is pretty cool to see. Here are these previously mentioned Blastos and Acans. You see there's the sump that's been taken offline. The team are moving these over and giving these systems a birthday, but have a look at the extension and how fluffy those Blastos are. Absolutely ridiculous. And these Acans along here, loving life too. Look at these ones in front here. Massive heads. Look at them blubber away there. Just fluffing in the flow almost like a hammer. It's ridiculous to see Acans loving life that much. And we were joking that Jack needs to bottle up some of this detritus out of those sumps and sell it as Jack's Miracle Mud. But quick look at some of the dry goods there, and then we'll come across and have a look at some of the fish that was on hand for the day, because as touched on, Williamstown always have a huge range of fish. You can see a nice little I think that's a Cortez angel there. Nice little juvenile. Super pretty rare fish, really. You don't see them too often. You got some blue tangs there. There is so many fish here. I'm not going to have time to cover them all, because like I said, we are covering 4 local fish shops in today's video. But some cool guys up here. I do love myself a dog-faced puffer, and that guy's got no shortage of yellow on him. I know people always look for the yellow bands when they're picking out their dog-faced puffers, but don't forget to get one with plenty of personality as well. Over in the middle here, we have some big fish. Have a look at the big clown trigger there, lipstick, domino damsel in there, I think too. Probably the biggest scopaz I've ever seen. Some nice fox faces. Heading over here, what do we got down here? Nice long-nosed wrasse there. Got the arc-eye hawk. That blue wrasse was pretty cool. Some clowns. You've got sail fins. Lots and lots of fish. These systems are actually 3 tiers high, so I'm skipping through them pretty quickly, but there's no shortage of eels in here, all trying to find a little bit of pipe for them to hide in. Quite like the scribble angel down there. Actually, that one might have been a bicolor angel, but there was a scribble angel as well. Nice little butterfly there. What else can we find? Some more of the long-nosed hawks. We've got some antheas there. Nice, that tang, a little vampire tang, I think. Nice assortment here of your standard Occy clowns. What can I find in the middle here? Again, we normally have our bigger fish. We've got more foxies, more scopaz. Massive blue face angel. I'm pretty sure he's a blue face. Super cool fish. You've got a big, is that a Quran? I'm not sure what kind of angel that was, but he was pretty nonetheless. And heading on the end of this wall here is where you'll find the freshwater section, and the guys have got no shortage of plants, shrimp, freshwater fish, tanks, all going on in there. But I want to showcase one thing here that Williamstown have been doing for a long time. It's this marine fish list on that display there. Very, very cleverly done. You can have a look at all the fish they have in stock, see their price there, all grouped by different categories. And just before we wrap things up here at Williamstown, quick look at the range of dry goods, including the range that Williamstown's own range, which is AMS, which is a very, very affordable brand of products that are still a very high quality. Heading up the end here, you can see Jack and Mariah still catching up on all things running shops, which is understandable, getting all of the inside info on how they can make both their businesses run as good as they possibly can. Now, we've got one final local fish shop to head to, and this is one that I do frequent fairly often. Deer Park Aquarium, heading out a little bit further west, and Mariah was excited to see this shop because she's seen it online quite a bit from yours truly. So we'll just do a quick lap in here because I'm sure you guys have seen no shortage of Deer Park Aquarium. You see Mark's in here working away. You got Blake, Mariah, Dave all catching up, given the peace symbol, which is something different. One fish I did want to highlight because this was the first time Mariah had ever seen them is a long fin clownfish, and Dave's lucky enough to have 4 of these beauties in store, which is, I guess we kind of take them for granted when we see so many of them. At one stage he had 6, but when you see someone as prevalent in the hobby as Mariah has never seen them in person before, this is a fish I got excited about. Beautiful Lanardi wrasse in there, super, super gorgeous. This one just came in from a customer's tank that bought off Dave a few years ago, so cool to see. And there is this gorgeous anemone crab down there. We've been nicknaming him Tamatoa. Very, very nice fish. Onto some of the corals here. You can see another longfin clown in there, but some gorgeous hammers. Super bright recordias. You got some cynarias, some more hammers. There's some torch scollies over there. Back across onto the fish side of things, you've got these big, super tame lionfish. These guys have been eating pallets, Blake tells me now. So they've moved from feeder fish onto frozen, onto prawn, onto pallets. Gorgeous little angel in there. That one's the Quran in there. A mimic tang as well, yellow mimic tang. You got some lyre tails, scopaz in there. What do we got? A orange shoulder, magnificent fox face, some bristle tooth, some squirrel fish there. Over onto some of the corals, and yes, some more longfin clownfish because, yeah, like I said, I kind of take for granted how rare these fish are, and you can see some different patterns there. You got a midnight as well as a black and white there. They've paired up very nicely. Over this way, you see Mariah and Dave talking things, inverts, SBS, all that sort of thing. So let's check in on the SBS, and these pieces have been here a couple of weeks now and have got to the stage where they are colouring back up again. They're almost at the colour they were when they came in fresh off the barrier reef. So another longfin clownfish there. That covers all 4, but some stunning variety of SBS in the sea. And then just to round things out, there are a few more fish to cover. Well, let's see what I can find. Here's something that Blake's been working away on, some saltwater acclimated mollies, which is super, super cool. $10 marine fish. Can't ask for much more than that. And then heading up over here, there's also a heap of freshwater stuff. I'm not going to cover that though. There's my display tank, which is due for a clean, a water change to finish its cycle. But there's a couple of display tanks here at the front that Dave has absolutely cranking at the moment. Beautiful SBS display in there, with the exception of the pectinia in there. But they're my old clownfish I've had for a long, long time now. That's Annie and Klaus that are apparently starting to lay eggs again, which is incredible. I've had her for, I think it's something like 14 years. And over here we've got this soft coral display in here with the softies, gorgonians, and zoas. So a really fun day out touring some of Melbourne's best local fish shops. I will say that Mariah had previously gone to Apex Aquatic the day before, so we didn't need to cover that in this video. Alright guys, there you have it. That was Mariah's Melbourne visit and our incredible local fish shop crawl throughout Melbourne. As I mentioned at the end there, fear not, we did get to Apex Aquatics. Well, Mariah did anyway. She was able to see that the day before, so there was no need for us to visit it again, and that is why I didn't get the opportunity to add that footage into this video today. But be rested assured that Mariah absolutely did see the newest and most spectacular local fish shop that Melbourne has to offer. And I want to take the opportunity to let all of you know, if you are not already following Mariah on Instagram, going by the tag of Only Reefs, do yourself a favor. She has some incredible content on there and has already got the most ridiculously colorful red sea tank that you've ever seen in your life, with all sorts of Goniopora that are offered throughout Australia, all in one tank. And she is about to set up a brand new system and share that entire journey right there on Instagram. So do jump on Only Reefs, have a look through the content, be sure to like and follow and all of those things that we do on social media these days, because Mariah is a true gem in the industry and you would not want to miss out on any of the things she's doing. Now, I will wrap things up there. Thank you so much for watching. I've got so much content to come over the next couple of weeks. I've actually got a video coming out tomorrow with a brand new power outage notification device that sends you text messages should you lose power, and also has some extra abilities to send you text message if there is a leak or if there is a temperature issue with your tank. Super, super cool. Requires absolutely no internet whatsoever and is as easy as they come to set up. So stay tuned for that video tomorrow. Next week, we'll be finally completing the cycle on my brand new UN Systems R60 soft coral display. That cycle has gone on more than long enough. That tank is ready to go. So I'll be going through the entire process of what we need to do at the end of the cycle, getting it ready to add some cleanup crew, maybe some coral and potentially our first fish. And then the week after that, you're in for an absolute treat. I have the brand new Mastertronic Essentials down here on my Dream Reef tank, pumping out a huge number of tests each and every day so I can give it a really thorough review before sharing my feedback with all of you guys right here on Parker's Reefs. Little sneak peek, I can say that so far the machine is ridiculously good, super simple to set up, very, very accurate and dead silent with its testing. So kind of ticks all of the three big barriers for something that tests alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, nitrate, phosphate, and water clarity. Can't ask for much more than that. So stay tuned for all of that content to come over the coming weeks. And I want to give a massive shout out to all of these names on screen here. These guys are my channel members who chip in a couple of dollars each and every month to make videos like this one and all of those ones coming over the next couple of weeks possible, and for that I really say a huge thank you. It's very, very humbly appreciated, all of the support these channel members do to this channel. If you want to show your support to the channel but you don't have a couple of dollars to spare each month, fear not, you can hit the subscribe button in that bottom corner down there. That tells the YouTube algorithm you think this is good content and helps recommend it to other like-minded reefers out there, which goes a huge way to helping the channel out. So if you're yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. We're headed on to about 34,000 subscribers from all around the world, which is truly mind-boggling and incredibly humbling for people following my journey in this awesome hobby that we call reef keeping. Now, I will wrap things up there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. Like I said, jump on Insta, check out Only Reefs. Mariah is a true gem in this industry. And of course, check out the video I did with her at the store where she works, Seaview Aquariums in Adelaide. Awesome tour. You'll get to see just how cool of a character Mariah is in that video. Anyway, guys, I'll leave you with that. Till next time, stay safe, keep reefing. Cheers, bye.